All right, welcome, Jalen. Thanks for hopping on. You are a software engineer, and I'll let you plug some things. Anything else you have going on? Anything else you're into?
Yes, sir. I just want to give a shout out to my orgs, Nesby, Black Men in Tech, um, Brilliant Minds. But yeah, ready to get started, Marcus.
All right, thank you. Thanks again for being with us. So we're talking about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And I'm excited to talk to you today because you are a software engineer. That's under engineering. So I wanted to ask you, how did you get into that?
Man, that's a great question. So, when we were shut down during the pandemic, I was working as a bank teller at PNC, making pennies. And I was just watching everybody make all these transactions, and like I started noticing a pattern that everybody was in tech. And so I just started doing research about how to get in tech and basically um, without like going back to school. And so I saw some roles like software engineering, cybersecurity, things in that nature where I can like take a course and get into tech. And so I started doing more research about like, is there any like boot camps out there or anything? And I came across free code camp. And I was doing that for a little bit, enjoyed it. Then I discovered Code Academy. And then after that, I joined a virtual boot camp that one of my friends was having, Juwan. Shout out to him. It was called Reskill Americans. And what Reskill Americans was a nonprofit for the black that was targeting the minority community to get black people into tech. So did that for like uh 5, 6 months, but before the cohort was even over, I landed an opportunity at McDonald's as a software engineer. And this kind of stint uh on that was basically got me in there was my networking. I was reaching out to people on LinkedIn. I was setting up like 3 to 5 like meetings per day with complete strangers. I was doing whatever it took to like break into tech, and I got in.
That's actually a pretty amazing backstory. I think you are kind of the person that I'm making these videos for. It sounds like you didn't kind of weren't in tech early on, but kind of just transitioned into it in the last 5 years. So I guess from that, what gave you, when you were a bank teller and saw people doing that, what gave you the confidence, like, that you could do that too? Was it anything in your background from school or anything that kind of you had an interest in technology early on, or where did that come from?
Man, that's a great question. Man, I'll be honest, like I grew up like every other probably black kid out there. Like I wanted to be an athlete. Um, I'm like 6'5", 6'6", like basketball was just calling my name and like that was gonna be my ticket. But unfortunately it didn't happen like that, you know. So um when I was at the bank and I was like seeing everybody like get deposits of like thousands and the cars that they was driving. I just brought that curiosity, like I can probably do this too. Like I had really never had no doubts. Even though that, I'm gonna be personal real fast. When I was telling family or friends, like I didn't get that much support because they didn't see me as an engineer. But that didn't really discourage me because I was putting myself in organizations around people that were in tech and picking their minds on how to like either build relationships or what projects do I need to present or what steps I need to take to get into tech. Um, and that pushed me a lot into many doors.
That's excellent, excellent. So now you talked about the importance of networking and how that kind of got your foot in the door. What
Mm-hmm.
are some other skills that you think a person would need to be successful in as a software engineer?
Mm-hmm. Set of skills that they would need to be successful as a software engineer. I would say every engineer, well, software engineer, needs to be able to pass the technical interview process. So, for those that's like trying to break in, leak code, neat code, data structures, we gotta be proficient in that because like you can keep asking for the opportunity. You get the opportunity, you gotta prove yourself. I done been in interviews with Microsoft and other companies, and like it's like you, I'm be honest, like you talking to a computer, like they expect you to provide a result. Um, but that's number one. Number two is I know a lot of people are really introverted, and that's not a bad thing. But you got to kind of put yourself out there and uh, make yourself different from the crowd. What I kind of tell people right now is like, put your projects out there. You really have to market yourself in this today's economy. Like, if you just expect to put in applications and wait on a response and get an interview and get hired, I mean, fingers crossed. I mean, but that's not really happening right now. A lot of things is happening with like referrals, seeing projects being done. Like I think of it as like, being a top contender on a dating show. Like you gotta bring them to you. But uh yeah, I probably spoke too much on that last question. I'm sorry.
No, that was good. That was all good stuff. So all right, next question. For when we talked about it was the money, you started seeing those people putting those checks in the bank, and that's what got you into it. What's something else that you get out of it besides the money? What's the biggest thing, attraction besides that?
A lot of things. I mean, the flexibility, working remote, not being micromanaged. Like you have the not only the responsibility but like the freedom to like do your work. Um, and what else? You never know. You might get other perks like nah, I ain't gonna say all that. Oh man, but the company might give you other incentives. I'll just say that.
All right, we're
Um,
gonna stop before you get in trouble. Appreciate you coming on with us, Jalen. You want to plug anything else before we go?
um, yeah. So, for those that's like still trying to break into tech, I stay consistent. Continue to go to these events, attend anything that you can virtually. Um, Introduce yourself to folks on LinkedIn. Like they can be strangers now, but they can be your mentor. They can be like your coworker, or they can be a sponsor for you in the future. Like one thing I learned about when I was in tech, you need more sponsors versus people. Hmm, I'm trying to say, you need more sponsors than anything. I'll just say that because like the people that are speaking for you in the room is really going to help you level up when you're not there. So yeah, just I think that's it.
All right, Jalen Harris, appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on, and thanks everybody for watching.
I appreciate you, Marcus.